My name is Robin Woodrum, and today I'm doing a biographical retrospective of Georgia O'Keeffe, who later became known as the mother of American modernism. Georgia O'Keeffe was one of the first females to gain worldwide notoriety from critics and the general public. She was a 20th century American painter who created impressionist images and pioneered American modernism. She was born on November 15, 1887 in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Her parents were wheat farmers. Her father, Francis O'Keeffe, was Irish, and her mother, Ida Totto, was Hungarian and Dutch. Georgia was the second of 7 children, and she was named after her maternal grandfather, George Totto. O'Keeffe's mother encouraged her children to be well-educated and self-sufficient. She herself had aspired to become a doctor. O'Keeffe had a strong curiosity about the natural world and an early interest in becoming an artist. Her mother encouraged this and arranged lessons. Her 2 grandmothers and 2 of her sisters also enjoyed painting. After graduating from high school, O'Keeffe studied at the Art Institute of Chicago and the Art Students League in New York, where she learned the techniques of traditional painting. She impressed the league with her oil painting, but she lacked self-confidence and decided to pursue a career as a commercial artist, and then later as a teacher. She went on to become head of the art department at West Texas A&M University, and during this time she experimented with her art, breaking from tradition and realism, and developing her own expression through more abstract compositions. While teaching at Columbia College in Columbia, South Carolina, O'Keeffe began a series of abstract charcoal drawings and was one of the first American artists to practice pure abstraction. She mailed a few of her drawings to a friend in New York City, who then showed the work to Stieglitz, an influential art dealer and renowned photographer. He would eventually become O'Keeffe's husband and the first to exhibit her work in 1916. As an art dealer, he championed her work and promoted her career. O'Keeffe began to experiment with perspective and painted large-scale close-ups of flowers. Many critics made claims that the images of the flowers were highly sexual, and some even said it was an erotic art form. O'Keeffe rejected that theory consistently, and in an attempt to move the attention of her critics away from their interpretations of her work, she began to paint in a more representational style. She turned to painting New York City skyscrapers, the symbols of modernity. By the mid-1920s, O'Keeffe was recognized as one of America's most important and successful artists. In the summer of 1929, O'Keeffe traveled for the first time to northern New Mexico. The landscape and culture inspired a new direction in O'Keeffe's art. She spent the next 2 decades living and working in New Mexico in the summers. She settled there permanently in 1949, following her husband's death. Her New Mexico paintings created interest as more people were seeking regional scenes by American modernists in order to seek an alternative view of the nation. In the 1950s, O'Keeffe began to travel internationally, and she painted and sketched as she visited new places. She painted the peaks of Peru and Japan's Mount Fuji. At the age of 73, she started to look to the clouds and sky. Unfortunately, O'Keeffe suffered from macular degeneration and painted her last unassisted oil painting in 1972. In 1977, President Gerald Ford presented O'Keeffe with the Medal of Freedom, and in 1985, she received the National Medal of Arts. Georgia O'Keeffe died in Santa Fe on March 6, 1986, at the age of 98.